What's up, Toronto Raptor fans? I am your host tonight for the wrap-up, Adon Moss. I'm joined by our lovely Italian chef friend, Kyle Brickman. Kyle, this is my flu game. I may or may not have COVID. I don't know, but I feel like a bag of shit. So forgive me if my thoughts aren't the most pertinent.
Good. That's a good. I like good starting off the broadcast.
Set the expectations low.
Very early excuse. Guys, remember, if Adon says anything uncouth or stupid at all, it's the flu speaking. It's not him.
Yeah, as opposed to every other time. We just watched the Toronto Raptors pull out a nail biter against the G League Nets. Scotty Barnes took over in the fourth quarter. We had an eclectic closing lineup of Trent Jr., Malachi Flynn, Thad Young, Scotty Barnes, and Chris Boucher, I want to say. Am I right?
Was it Chris Boucher?
Thad Young, Gary Trent, Malachi Barnes. Doesn't matter.
It was Achua. I thought it was Achua.
Okay. There you go. See, this is what I'm talking about. And Pascal Siakam fouled out. Yeah, you're right. Precious Achua. And we pulled it together. So, I mean, I guess we were all hot to trot yesterday on the thumping, and we guarded our excitement because we know that it's just one game and the Nets are garbage. And then we go into this game and we eke one out, and it kind of answers our concerns of yesterday. What were your thoughts on the game?
First of all, I got to say, credit to the Nets. They didn't play. I get that they're G League guys. They didn't play like G Leaguers tonight. And when you add KD and Kyrie and Ben Simmons to the mix, those role players, it's actually going to be a pretty nasty team. I kind of like what I see the vision there, and I thought Jacques Vaughn did really well. So let's not take away, this was a good win for the Raptors. I think the lead is Scotty is the man. I get that Gary was the closer down the stretch, but Scotty was just doing everything down the stretch defensively. He was all over the glass again. He was just a ball of energy that the team needs at times, especially when Siakam went out. And I gotta say, he his first half, obviously isn't going to compare to last night. And just in general, this game isn't going to compare to last night or the game in Charlotte, but he's on a stretch now. I'm not sure post All-Star break. We're going to have to pull up the exact stats. He's on a stretch now that's warrants some serious attention. He's pulling himself back into the Rookie of the Year conversation here.
Yeah, I saw a nice meme of something about Evan Mobley thought this was over. Not necessarily. There's some swagger to Scotty that you don't really see in every player, and there's two sides to that coin in which sometimes he looks checked out. It's there's just the trigger wasn't pulled, and he requires that extrinsic motivation. Sometimes it's Pat Bev being a doofus. Sometimes it's him hitting a couple of shots and getting going. But when he does get going, when he is motivated, he's at another level competitively, but also skill-wise that you don't see that often. I mean, the best example of that was with a minute left, he takes the ball on the baseline, calls Malachi, give me the ball, does absolutely nothing, and then pivot fadeaway hits the jumper. And it's ugly and it's not great, but also he hit it. And he's done that a couple of times before. He did it against Durant the last time they played Brooklyn. So
we'll get into this later. I do want to talk about the commentary team. I guess why not now? I think Paul Jones is terrific. I think he really warrants a spot over Alvin Williams as the color guy on Sportsnet when the time comes, because he wasn't exactly blessed with great games. These last 3 games he did were all blowouts. So not exactly a great form to show his skills, but I thought tonight he was awesome. And it's
who, Jones?
Yeah, Jones.
He wouldn't replace Alvin. He would replace Matty D, wouldn't he?
I think he does color alongside Eric Smith on the radio
Oh,
usually.
does he?
Yeah, I thought he's a color guy, or like sort of like I guess like some sort of like a combo guard, if you will.
Yeah, he can do both.
Yeah, I thought he was terrific. I'm happy he finally got like a game that means something, so he can kind of show off. Like he should stick around. I'm 100% in on Paul.
Yeah, for anybody who didn't catch it, Lou Zatzman, who writes for Raptors Republic, had a big feature on Paul and the Star. So go check that out. There's like a big old photo and everything. Like it's a legit article. It's pretty dope. I didn't know he played. Like he was talking about playing with Leo in France. Like I
I
didn't
didn't
realize he
realize
was a
either.
baller. Yeah, so Scott, like you're right, Scotty's been on a little bit of a tear, and it's kind of, he's had his up and downs over the course of the season, but there's been like a slow slanted progression upward. And these last 3 games, I think, again, we talked about this yesterday, with OG not being there and Freddie not being there, there's a lot of space for Scotty to kind of assert his will and see what comes out of it. And so that is, someone said, like, silver line of injuries. That is kind of like the one benefit, is you let these other guys like Flynn, who we'll get to, kind of spread their wings and see what they can do.
Yeah, I think in general, obviously losing OG is bad, but it's actually nice to see what some of these guys can do. Also, losing Fred, like I would rather have Fred playing than Flynn, but this is kind of a Flynn renaissance right now. I'm 100% in. Like I think he's done enough to prove to me that he deserves minutes for the rest of the season. I thought he really pushed the ball well tonight, especially when they're facing that zone. Like they just needed to get in transition early, and he did a really good job pushing the ball. And in general, like his shot comes and goes. 2 nights ago he didn't have it. Last night he had it. Tonight, quickly, Flynn was 6 for 11, 2 of 5 from 3. So like he was on tonight. But regardless of whether his shot's falling, I actually think he kind of needs to be out there, like as a calming presence. There were a couple plays where he would, especially late in the game, just bring the ball up, not try to push the ball into the teeth of the defense, just like calm everybody down and get into a set. And I think, Precious has been great and Scotty's been great, but all those guys aren't guards. Like they like to push the ball in transition. They don't have the situational awareness that a guard does. So I don't know. Flynn offers him something here that's pretty necessary.
He definitely does. My problem with Flynn, I mean, I've been down on Flynn, I have to say, like most people, but I never discredited his skill set. It's just like how he deploys himself, which is like he's always pulling the ball out. He's always calling for screens. He's looking to make his pull up, and he can't just do that being a starting point guard. And so he's been required to make like the right pass, like penetrate. Yeah, he's making the right choices. He's penetrating, he's kicking. Like he knows that his responsibility is beyond just getting a bucket, and he resorts back to it every once in a while. We saw that a lot in the zone today, of him just kind of trying to make something out of nothing. And I think that's where he can do that, and I think over time he will do that. But right now, you're right. Like him playing the natural point guard has been, he's excelled at it. He had one where he penetrated and like double clutched past to Thad Young in the far corner, and it's like that's the kind of stuff that you want from your backup point guard, not the pick and roll 12-footers in like over and over again.
Yeah, Aisha quickly. Hi, nice to see you. Turkey. That sounds like fun. I guess, where do you want to go from here? Because Gary, I guess, nominally led the team in points. I didn't even really that kind of shocked me when I looked at the box score. I wouldn't have guessed that at all. It's because he had 9 free throws. Most of those, I don't know. I think at least half of those were in the fourth quarter. So I'm not sure, like, really what Gary's deal was tonight. He's kind of off post All-Star break. Siakam's kind of off post All-Star break. I don't know what you think's going on. I don't know, like, what's going on with these two guys. It seems like the All-Star break hit, they've come back, and they're not shooting the best.
Yeah, well, I think today a lot of it had to do with that zone. And like with the zone, you just can't afford to try and pick your spots. That's kind of how both of them do it, right? Like they like to get their ISO, they like to get it in their spots, and they go to work. And in the zone, you just can't do that, because as soon as you slow the ball movement, or you allow the defense to reset, you're kind of in a bind again. Pascal missed a couple of gimmies, I guess, which otherwise, like, he didn't shoot that poorly, and he's got a lot of pressure on him now too, as well. Like, the focus is squarely on him with Freddie gone, so I think that's a part of it. But I mean, he's struggled for a while now, and I think it's probably just the like that they're concentrating on him as the main issue.
Yeah, it did feel a little bit like Pascal was forcing, and I think a lot of his success pre All-Star break, I think basically his like huge month of January came from him basically being a facilitator. Now a lot of that's been taken away because of the zones, and just in general because of the poor shooting around him. Like he's making the passes to open guys that just the shots aren't falling, but he is forcing into double coverage a couple times. He took an offensive foul where he could have passed the ball out to Scotty on the wing wide open. Like he had a couple moments where he seems to be trying a little bit too hard to get his own, and that's just something he's going to have to deal with, because he has a certain rapport with Fred when they're both in the game. They're going to work out the shot distribution, who takes shots when. But there's like a new number two in town, I guess, when Fred's not around, and it's some combination of Gary or maybe Precious or Scotty, and it's just kind of all messed up, it seems.
Yeah, when two of our three best shooters are not on the floor as well, so that zone is just like so destructive for us. Like Thad was our best 3-point shooter tonight.
I was gonna say, I'm like the sample size is getting big enough where I'm getting more and more in on this Thad move. Like if he's shooting, I gotta wait. Let me figure out this exactly.
I think he's missed one
feels
and
like he's
three.
shooting like 90% from three in his Raptors career, like something ridiculous. So
Yo, shout out to Chris, our producer. He got retweeted by Thad's wife during the game. So shout out, Chris. Way to go. I immediately followed her. I want to know what's going on with Thad's wife. I want Thad to feel welcome here. I want him to stick around. I like how he fits into this team. While we're talking about Thad, like defensively, really kind of like locked in on the perimeter. Seth Curry, no one was stopping him, but considering that Thad's 33 and 6'9", like he did a very good job playing on the perimeter. And the only time we really did break the zone was when we had that like kind of triangular action going with like Thad, Boucher, Precious, Pascal, Scotty in some kind of form. And they're really like the synthesis between them has been great, and Thad's really contributed to that.
Yeah, Thad is shooting, I think, just quickly, I think he's shooting like 6 of 9 from three, so like casual 66% 3-point percentage. I think if that's accurate, fine. I'm all on board with that. He has to cool off at some point, but another part of me is like, all these looks are open. Like those corner threes are wide open, probably more wide open than he's had like in a long time. The spacing, I don't know if you watched any San Antonio this year, and it's not like that really played, but the spacing on those San Antonio teams is not nice at all.
No.
Just
can we talk about this?
Yeah, I'm in on this. I was actually about to bring this up. I actually thought Birch had a good night. He's a better team defender than Achua. Achua's a better individual defender. Birch was like kind of fine tonight. He missed a couple easy push shots, but then like you look at the box score and he's still 5 for 7.
He missed more. I really did. Like I was surprised he was 5 for 7.
I know, because he had like some, like I think 4 of those were dunks. And like again, he's a role player. I do think he gives them something a little bit better, like as a team defender than Achua at times, because Achua gets like a little weird in the pick and roll. He's like not a great help defender, at least not like he doesn't have the savvy of Birch. But when you compare Birch and Achua specifically, Precious has all the physical tools that Birch doesn't, and can learn to be a good team defender. So I can see why they're playing Achua way more, and that's not even factoring the offensive side. Between Thad and Birch, I don't know. Birch kind of offers you more as a traditional big. He's a better rebounder, but like Thad is like on another level offensively. He had a couple passes tonight. I called it last night. He was going to have like a couple passes that are going to be like little wow plays. I think he had a couple tonight. I'm still looking out for more. Like Thad as a playmaker is kind of evolving with this Raptors team as he gets to know people.
I didn't love Birch's game tonight for some reason. It just kind of felt like he's kind of he's the kind of the one that doesn't fit in a lot of ways, and whether that's like motion with the ball or even defensively, like he's a little bit more limited, and we didn't really need him against like Aldridge is not a traditional big. I don't think we needed to play him as much, and so I didn't love Birch's game. Whatever, like there's definitely going to be times where he fits, but I just think like especially in his zone, he's not like I wouldn't want him on the floor.
Yeah, it's specifically against the zone because even Thad, when he's not knocking down shots, offers you something in the way of playmaking, and he's just a better cutter. And Precious like gets all over the offensive glass like Kem doesn't. So yeah, you can't play Kem Birch against the zone, unfortunately. At least with the other shooting they have on the floor. We should get into, I guess, in general, what did you think of the crowd, and maybe more specifically, what did you think of the crowd's relationship with Goran Dragic?
I am all for booing guys.
Yeah, me too.
Like that is part of what a fan's supposed to do, to sit there and like neutrally observe the sport as a third party. Like first of all, like Josh Lewenberg tweeted about this, like if you want to boo Goran Dragic, you got to boo Toronto management because it takes two. And I'm like, I don't know that I buy that. Obviously, Josh knows this way more than I do, but like if Goran had come to Toronto and was like, I want in, I'm going to be your veteran guy, I'm going to play 15 minutes a game, I'm going to do what you guys need to do, then I think he would have had a spot on this team. I don't think it was like Masai's like, look, like Masai, any management is about leveraging what you have on your team. Why would you ever just be like, no, we're good, man. You can just fuck off. Like, I just don't believe that. I think it was Goran's attitude from the get-go, and he deserves to be booed, frankly.
Yeah, I don't really see why it would be an issue at all, and I actually don't think there is anyone making an issue besides Lewenberg, and that's like his prerogative. Fine, whatever.
Well, I think Lou tweeted he didn't love it either.
Really? I honestly, I don't care. I think, especially in Toronto, it's not like, okay, whatever. Maybe you go to see a game in like Charlotte and you pay like $10 for floor seats. It's like maybe you don't earn the right to be that nasty to the players. But like in Toronto, it's like $500 for like a regular lower bowl seat. Like those people paid for it. They deserve. They're spending the big bucks. It's like a big event to go to a game. Let them voice their opinion.
Don't tell me what corporate Torontonians do and don't deserve.
Exactly. No, but I mean, in general, like the crowd did play a big role tonight. They went on that little run in the middle of the fourth quarter. I think it was a 9-0 run around the fourth minute, and it kind of swayed the game. Like it seemed like there wasn't something like that before. There was no energy without the crowd, and I don't think the run would have happened without them. It really changed.
Yeah, talk about extrinsic motivation. Like I'm sure that just electrifies Scotty.
Mm-hmm. He's an energy guy. He feeds off of energy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think booing Vince Carter got a little old. But like when you sell out, like you have it coming. I mean, it's totally fucking harmless. Who cares if someone gets booed or not? These guys are like multi-millionaire egomaniacs. They don't care if they're getting booed or not. It's it's a representation of fandom, and it's something that we can enjoy. Like I'm mad about it too. I'm mad that Goran just bailed on us. Like I think it's I do think it was him more than management. Maybe it wasn't, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, I think exactly what you said was right. It's like there's probably like there's this big like pro player movement, partially because players are more concerned about mental health, which is totally valid. The other part of it is like there are places like fucking Utah where the booing is just straight up racism.
Totally,
like,
and
that's when it crosses a line where
even
like
heckling,
like bigotry. But if you're just here like booing Goran Dragic here in Toronto, who cares? These guys, look, they make way too much money to care about this kind of thing, and if they do, they have like million, like they could go to therapy 500,000 times over, and like, you know what I mean? Like, who cares? I don't know. It's just it's a harmless little boo. I don't think it sends a bad, like, I don't think it gives us a bad rap as a franchise. I like Jesse's Simpsons reference. I don't know.
I even think I even think heckling is thumbs up. Like I grew up in Victoria, went to the University of Victoria basketball games, and there was this section of university students when I was a kid, and they heckled every single time. But it was all above board, and that's like we're not talking about disrespecting the like a player. We're just talking about like the 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 way in which fans can be involved verbally without it being like over the top. And I do think it's a fine line. And obviously, it's gone way past that. We saw the Lakers. I don't know if you saw the video, like Ariza and LeBron and Russ were yelling back at fans, and they probably deserved it because I feel like Russ and LeBron hear everything in the universe. So, generally speaking, I'm for it, and I think we're being way too sensitive about it.
Yeah, 100%.
Dude, oh yeah, that's a good point. Man, I played basketball in like other countries before, and you think our booing is bad, like it's way more aggressive. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess they were talking about it tonight in the broadcast too. Like,
right.
Who knows? It's hard to say. At the end of the day, like, this isn't, also comparing to the Carter situation, this isn't like a multi-year thing. No one's going to remember like the whole Dragic saga in 1 year. Like, he'll get like some like oops, like, F you type thing, but it's not going to be like these massive boos. It's just the first game back. I mean, who cares? And Dragic, actually, to his credit, had a decent game. I'm gonna say, like, he bounced back from last night. He was a plus.
He had a decent game, but FYI, Dragic, you're gonna play like nothing in the playoffs. There's who's gonna be Brooklyn's top 8? It's gonna be like
Curry,
Durant,
Bruce Brown,
Curry,
Aldridge, Mills, KD,
Kyrie,
Blake Griffin, Ben
Thomas
Simmons
is gonna play over Goran,
Kyrie.
probably.
Who is, sorry?
Cam Thomas.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Do you like Cam Thomas more than you like Curry or Mills?
Claxton too. Like, I just think there's like Goran doesn't offer that much.
Yeah, he doesn't offer anything.
Potential Raptor, Nick Claxton.
I know. He actually had a decent game too. That's what I was saying. I actually this collection of role players for Brooklyn who are making up a team right now. This is a good group of guys. I've always thought James Johnson could be a good contributor. He had a great game tonight. Aldridge can knock down shots. Griffin can knock down shots. Curry is like getting Curry in that Harden trade was so monumental.
Deal.
Like, that really changed the outlook of the trade altogether. I thought Curry gives him, like, he was like a superstar, and it looked like his brother. Yeah,
he
just
made
in general,
big shots.
Big shots.
If Joe Harris comes back, those two together are going to be a lot of problems.
I didn't even think of Joe Harris. That completely slipped my mind.
I don't know that he's going to be back, but trouble if he is.
Okay.
Chris, cue the tax man of the night thing ticker.
You can do this. I could do this.
I can do it.
There we go.
There it is. Yeah, but it's fun when I cue it.
Okay.
Chris. No. Never mind.
What's up, buddy?
We got it. Chris, do you want to give us a tax man?
Sure, I'll give a tax man any day of the week. I mean,
all right.
It's got to be Scotty Too Hottie, no?
Love it. Is that back to back?
It is back to back.
Congratulations, Scotty Barnes, back to back.
Well deserved.
What's your reasoning, Chris?
I mean, I think the fourth quarter is like a quintessential Scotty kind of quarter. Like, I don't even know how many points he had, if he had any points, but like, he was rebounding. He had the sick block on Seth Curry. I'm going to pull up some highlights. You guys keep talking.
Yeah,
just in general, he was their best player down the stretch. I actually thought he was better than Siakam tonight. I would have liked to see, again, like, it doesn't matter in wins, but it's hard to look at the box score, those top two names, and you have a guy going 7 for 19 and the guy immediately below him going 8 for 13. Yeah. Like, it's I don't know. He's the man. He, like, that pass he made there was compared to Magic Johnson, and I agree completely. He's magic. Some of these passes he's throwing are like those vintage Magic Johnson passes, like out of the high pick and roll as a no look offhand type thing. All these things that like make the pass incrementally harder that people might not notice. He can do. I'm 100% in. Like, he had a little lull there. This post also breaks Scotty. I'm back on the like get him as many touches as where you can possibly get him, and this is his team sooner rather than later.
I'll say it till the cows come home. Like, I want to be running offenses through him in high post, low post all day. And I think that's an interesting kind of side note with the zones is like we have terrible shooting, but we have amazing like passing in the post and low post area. How many times did we exploit that dunker spot? And a big part of that is Scotty. And I think the times we struggled against the zone was when we weren't moving that ball and we weren't exploiting those spots, which is easier said than done. But I think a lot of the time we went away from that. And I think generally Toronto goes away from that kind of playmaking. We talked about isolations last night. Like we go away from the other stuff that feels like we have an advantage over.
I love to see this tweet, not only because I love to see Oren getting like a good interaction there, a couple hundred likes. Love to see that, but also this is great. It did seem like he and Nurse, like, it took a while for Lowry and Nurse to get on the same page, and it like VanVleet and Nurse are like getting on the same page now. I'd love to see Lowry or Scotty, I should say, and Nurse develop like some type of rapport, because he is a self-proclaimed guard. He doesn't get the opportunities right now. He's basically a point forward, but he can run sets. Let him operate at the pick and roll. Let him be the primary ball handler, whether that be with the bench, whether that be with the starters, whatever it is. I'm glad to see him and Nurse developing a bit of a rapport.
Man, he used to run so many dribble handoffs early on. And I like he can be mad at Nurse now again because there isn't really anybody else in the hierarchy to be in his way. And that's one of the disadvantages of having a skilled rookie with a team that's looking to win is there's a lot of benefits, but one of them is that you can't just go out there and fail and succeed in all aspects of the game. You're a little bit more limited.
Should we should say VJ, call VJ for all your tax needs. Numbers at the top of the screen there. It is tax season. We've been saying it. I think it was part of the read since like October, September. Frankly,
it's always tax season.
We did like the draft breakdown in June, which was 1 month after 2 months after the tax deadline, and we were saying it's tax season. But now it's for real. I know our rep might be our credibility might be kind of low when it comes to the tax season, but it is now tax season. We can confirm, and call VJ. Don't trust TurboTax. Don't do it yourself. I know
definitely don't go to H&R Block
advertising campaign.
Don't go there. I made that mistake once.
I know TurboTax is a big advertising campaign, but you know what? So does VJ. This is a big spot for him. So numbers.
He'll do your personal. He'll do your business. He'll do it all.
Okay. A couple quick questions and we'll get out of here. I wanted to address this here. Flynn was legit terrible. You can even take off I think just during the early season, and now he's cooking. So whatever Flynn's Nurse is doing is working. Yeah, it's always like a weird line between whether like he's in the doghouse and he deserves to play, or he's in the doghouse because he's not playing well. And I think you just have to trust Nick Nurse. I believe that he's getting minutes now because he's earned them, not because necessarily like he's just it's like an injury situation, because we had injury situations earlier in the year and he wasn't getting minutes. So I don't know what's happened. Maybe he's just become himself. I think he won Rookie of the Month last March, was it? So maybe he's just a March guy. It takes him a while to get into like the season. Who knows? But
this kind of development is never linear. Like you can't. It's like Banton being great and then being terrible and then being okay and now he's struggling again. Like with young guys, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. They do, and they see it. And I mean, this is kind of an aside, but like, what about Utah tonight, right? Like he has a pretty good game yesterday, and then we don't see him at all. And we haven't seen him for quite a long time. And it's like, it doesn't really make sense to me why he hasn't played. But maybe in the background they're seeing something that we don't actually appreciate.
That sort of leads into this one. No, it's the Brooklyn Nets, and we beat them last night by 30. They've been losing to everyone. I don't think it's solved at all. This is still
23 went back to
They played us-
23 bench points.
Yeah, they played us pretty close tonight, but this is not a good team. Like just last night, they lost by 30 to the Raptors. So, and I agree with Ryan. The likes are way off, and it doesn't. You know what? It doesn't cost anything to like. VJ will tell you that himself. He's the expert. He's a financial wizard. But I'm telling you, it doesn't cost anything to like.
Maybe you can write something off if you like it.
Yes, yeah, it's charity technically in a way.
Yeah, I mean, this bench is incomplete. It always will be. If Flynn can give us real numbers as a backup point guard, that's something. I mean, you have to think like if with OG and Freddie back, that kind of deepens us again. And I think like a Thad, Boucher, Precious, Flynn is like a not bad 9, but it's certainly not great. It's going to be a constant struggle for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Lester. Any update on OG? I don't know if we can get the tweet up. I guess that it just came out today that he's been struggling with the hand thing for months. And I'm not really sure like what the exact news is. He's still, I think there's no update like on the opinion he got, the consultation, but the update is that he's been struggling for a while.
No, well, there is an update in the sense that they thought he might be out for a month, but they reported him as questionable tonight, which means that like he saw a specialist yesterday, I think, which means that like the prognosis is quite good. He won't need surgery, and so we'll see him sooner than later. So, reassuring.
I think the bio deadline was today. I'm not sure if is it tonight or is it like do they get it in before minutes like a college assignment, or is it like it's over? It's probably over. I think the bio deadline is passed.
Etuan Moore?
I don't know. Like 1 second, let me see the exact bio deadline. I was pretty sure it was today.
I'll address this one. I think all 3 of these guys will be playing like big bench minutes, and I think depending on the matchup, we could see Birch playing like not at all. I would rather see kind of like a Chua play the 5 as opposed to be playing the 4 alongside somebody else. And so I think you could take Birch out of that and kind of rotate him in. But again, it'll depend on the matchups. But yeah, I think all 3 of these guys are going to be there.
Yeah, the bio deadline is March 1st. But again, I'm not sure if that's like maybe in this next hour and 24 minutes, there'll be a bio guy. But listen, if you guys are, I wouldn't bet on it. That's what I'll say. This is the team going forward. And you know what? Like, it's imperfect, but they can still make some noise, I think. So why don't we look at the schedule? Why don't we look ahead here? This isn't, you guys like, we're on a short time scale here. It's only when Sal's on where we go like 3 straight hours. Aiden wants to get out of here in 20 minutes. I'm kind of with him. Let's just go. I mean, if we can we scroll up one thing to make it, because we did actually beat Brooklyn tonight.
What did we say? We said 4-0.
I said 4-0 Brooklyn, Detroit, Orlando, Cleveland, and people mocked me, and I'm only 3 wins away. So, wrong way.
You're 2 wins away. You just need to.
Oh yeah, I just said 4-0 a game before that even.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's I mean, look, I'm gonna give it to you straight. It's getting pretty ugly after that Orlando game. There's a stretch of like, is that 1, 2, 3? Who knows where the Lakers would be? 4
6 on the road against
5, like somewhere between 5 and 7 teams above 500, depending on how the Lakers. I don't know. I mean, I still consider the Lakers to be a difficult game. It's LeBron James. Maybe I have too much respect for him, but it's LeBron. That's a tough game. I don't care. It's a tough game. I don't care what the record is. So, like, what are your thoughts? Big West Coast road trip going on. What's the prediction?
Well, revenge game for Thad, so that's a lock.
Revenge for like absolutely blessing him by giving him like away for free to a contender.
I think the Cleveland game's doable. No Garland, like if with no Garland and with Freddie back, like that's a big advantage for us. I actually feel like we play those guys quite well. Like we're not as big, but we're equally as long and athletic. So I'm less worried about Cleveland. I think Denver, we don't match up that well with Denver. Phoenix is gonna be trouble. Yeah, I think we're gonna be looking at like a well, how many games are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6. I'd say like 3-3
In the next 6
after Orlando. That 6-game
Orlando, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, the road trip in general.
road trip. I'd say
Yeah, give me
3-3.
4-2. I think they beat the Lakers. I think they beat the Clippers. They're not playing well. I get that the Clippers are like. Actually, wait. What's the Clippers' recent record? We'll get into
They've been
this
playing
later,
well,
but
man. They play tough.
They do
They
play
got the
tough. Oh, and
duck.
they beat. I guess they beat the Rockets tonight. That's not really that impressive, but I guess I think Isaiah Hartenstein is playing well. Denver is a terrible matchup for us. Phoenix is like the best team in the league, so that's a loss. But I'm pretty confident they beat both LA teams, and they have Cleveland, and they definitely have San Antonio. I can't express to you how little confidence I have with this team playing the Suns. The Suns are just going to like absolutely stomp us. I mean, I don't know. That's my official prediction.
No Chris Paul, remember. But yeah,
Aiton's still out there. Ayton and Devin Booker are still out there.
Okay, I think we're gonna wrap it up there because I feel like I'm gonna die. Thanks everybody for listening. Buckets, baby. Like, comment, subscribe us. We're gonna be back Thursday against Detroit, then Friday against Orlando. So I don't mind that. That's not a bad one. So yeah, come tune in on us in a couple of days. Hopefully I'll be healthy and ready to roll. Any last comments, Kyle?
No. Good to get this win though. It would have been a depressing one if not, like especially with Dragic coming back. Like the boos only work in a winning environment.
Yeah, I gotta go strip down. I've got like 2 fleeces on right now.
It's that freezing Victoria winter that we've all heard about. Okay.
All right. Peace.